Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get into this thing. All right, folks, the FPI has predicted 8 wins for the Vols, and we're going to go through this schedule and discuss it and try to come up with a good number ourselves. All right. Now, last year, this same prediction had us winning 7 games, and we won 10 in the regular season. So that sort of gives you an idea where we might be headed. But they've been actually pretty accurate before that. But let's get into this. This is by Patrick Brown of Go Vols. It says ESPN FPI predicts every game on Tennessee's schedule. And they actually have us down for 8.2 wins, and they've got us ranked number 12 in the country, which tells you they think we're going to go basically 8-4, but they've got us ranked number 12, which tells you how hard it is to play in the SEC. I mean, we've just got some really tough games. Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, Kentucky, South Carolina, so on and so forth. And it goes back in 2018 when the Vols went 5-7, and they had us with a little bit better than a 50% chance of winning 5 games, so they missed on that one. 2019 win total was 7.6, 50% chance of winning in 9 games. They won 7. Vols were predicted to go 4-6 in 2020, went 3-7. That was the end of Jeremy Pruitt. 2021, they had us for 6.6 games. We won 7 that year, and that, of course, was Josh Heupel's first season. We didn't win the bowl game, even though we did win the bowl game. We got creaked by the official on that one when we scored a touchdown that they said wasn't. And then 2022, they had us down for 7 games, basically 7.1, and we won 10. And the 3 upsets were beating Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, and that was a 37% chance, and then LSU at Death Valley, and then Alabama here. So in the first game, they got us playing Virginia. They've got a 90% chance of winning that game, and I think we will. They finished 103rd in total offense last year. Their scoring average went from 34 to 17, and then Brennan Armstrong transferred to North Carolina State. It says their defense improved, but Tennessee figures to be heavily favored. And that game is going to be in Nashville, which means that's a home game for us. Next game is Austin Peay, 98% chance. Yeah, that's an easy win.
That's a paddling.
I'm not even going to go through that. Then Florida. Florida. All right, we're going to talk about Florida. We got to go down to the swamp. And, yeah, I know they're in turmoil right now. They're coming off 2 losing seasons, and they don't know who their quarterback's going to be. It might end up being this Mertz fella, but I don't think anybody's convinced of what they're going to do at quarterback, and they'd better figure that out because they couldn't even score a touchdown in the bowl game without Anthony Richardson. So this should be a heck of a ball game. It's Billy Napier's second year. He needs to have a winning season this year at the very least. He probably needs to win 9 games just to calm the Florida Gators fans down a little bit because right now they're not happy. I can tell you that. They're more than unhappy. And again, Florida will be slightly favored in this FPI, but the people that make money at this stuff and actually post the lines have got us favored by almost a touchdown. So should be very interesting. Look, it's the swamp. They're going to throw everything they've got at us and the kitchen sink.
No mercy.
And an alligator or 2. So it's going to be a heck of a ball game. It's really the most critical game of the start of the year.
I thought winning wasn't important.
Me winning isn't. You do.
Great grammar.
Then we've got UTSA, and UTSA is actually a really good team. They've won their conference, looks like the last couple of years. Yeah, Conference USA champions, 11-win road runners. So they'll give us a game. We should beat them. It's here, but they will give us a game. Now we've got the revenge game. South Carolina, we're favored to win by 81%. And South Carolina games, the one that haunted us last year, looked like we were in good shape, going to probably make the playoff. And then we had the whole turmoil with our linebacker and our quarterback, and they got into a tussle, and we had to suspend our best defensive player basically at the time, certainly our best linebacker. And it really threw things off. And then South Carolina was laying in wait after getting absolutely beaten to death by Florida down at the swamp. And so I think South Carolina, they showed up big time and played great and put a whooping on us, and it was very unfortunate. But these things do happen when you travel. That's the thing about playing in the SEC. Winning on the road is not easy, even a team that you should beat. And that's why I think South Carolina is going to have a very tough time in Neyland. The crowd will be going crazy, and it's going to be 102,000, and it's going to be really hard for South Carolina to function. So we'll see how that goes, but I feel really good about that ball game. Texas A&M, We've got a 68% chance of winning that. Now realize Texas A&M is loaded with talent. This is a team that has really struggled big time under Jimbo Fisher. It's been a dumpster fire. They went 5-7 last year, didn't get to a bowl game, and they had the #1 recruiting class in the country, one of the best that's ever been. And a bunch of those guys are gone now. So Jimbo's under a lot of pressure. He's brought in Bobby Petrino. That should help his offense if he'll let him call the plays. We'll see. Jimbo likes to call the plays. So I don't know, man. And you saw how he acted in that interview. He was not wanting to talk about the offense. So he got really butthurt over those questions. So I don't know if Jimbo can let this happen or not. He's pretty strong-headed or pig-headed. So we'll see how that game goes, but I like our chances in that game. But they are talented. We don't need to look past them, and I don't think we will, given the fact that it's at Knoxville. Now we got Alabama. They're only giving us a 12% chance of winning this game because it's at Tuscaloosa.
Alabama!
And believe me when I tell you, they're going to be gunning for us big time. They are going to be pumped. They're going to want their revenge. They have not liked us partying like we have for the last 6-7 months over this victory, and by the time this game comes along, we'll have been partying for 12 months over it. Now, I haven't really mentioned it very much. Well, maybe a few times. Anyway, yeah, they're going to be looking for revenge, and to win in Tuscaloosa would be a shocker. It could happen. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be tough. It'll be our toughest game of the year, tougher than Georgia, in my opinion. Kentucky, it's at Lexington. You know, we've been handling Kentucky without any trouble. We beat them last year. Now, they gave us a time up there in Lexington 2 years ago, but they were a different team, and we didn't have much of a defense. Our defense will be improved this year. The question is, can we go up there and take care of them? If it's a 7 o'clock game, the crowd's going to be an absolute factor, and we'll see what they do with Devin Leary. They brought in a really good quarterback, so, you know, they're not going to be weak at QB. We'll see if they can fix that offensive line. I still think we'll win that game, but they're going to give us a game. Then we play Connecticut. That's an easy win.
Oh, you better believe that's a paddling.
Yeah, that's a paddling. Then we're going to play Missouri, and Missouri's going to have some revenge in their mind because of the way we ran up the score. And remember, I had the sensitivity training guy from ESPN who was all distraught in the Bear, and they were all going crazy because our backup quarterback, our backup receiver, our backup lineman and running back went in and scored on them, and they shouldn't have done that. They should have kneed the ball at midfield with like 3 minutes left or however many minutes it was, and just not scored and apologized for the whooping, I guess. You know how people are these days, very sensitive. So they'll be looking for some revenge. They're a decent team, too. Now, we're favored to win by 66%, so we'll see how that goes. But they'll be waiting for us. That'll be a good game. And then finally, Georgia coming up, which is our most important game in my mind, because we need to get some revenge on them. You know, I think we'd have given them a heck of a game in Neyland last year, especially with Hendon Hooker, the way he was playing. But they got a hold of us at Sanford, and we couldn't hear the cadence and got offsides like 8 times. And, look, you know, you can't give up that many points, which we basically did. We were moving the ball pretty good, and we just offsides. Sanford came alive. And we're going to be doing the same thing to them. I think it'll be a good game. We'll see. It's really up to how Joe Milton plays, how, you know, Georgia, we'll see how their new quarterback does, their new offensive coordinator as well. Todd Monken's left, and they got a new coordinator, so we'll see how this plays out. But very exciting game. I can't wait to see that. And then Vanderbilt will be playing in Knoxville. That should be that's probably going to be a paddling.
That's a paddling.
So I see us. I'm thinking like 10 wins, somewhere in that neighborhood for us. You know, it's going to be tough to beat Alabama or Georgia. I swear I think we've got a chance at Georgia, though. I really do. The Alabama game is the one I'm most concerned about. And then we'll probably drop a game somewhere else, I would think, even if we upset Georgia, because we do have to go on the road a couple of times. But you know, 9-10 wins, something like that is what I'm thinking right now. Could we win 11? That would be fantastic. 11 wins and you're in the playoff, or you're in the SEC playoff most likely. If not the SEC, let's say Georgia is the only team that beats us, then we'd probably get in the playoff. And then the next year, it's the top 12. So that's when I think we're really going to be in the catbird seat. We'll have Nico as our starting quarterback most likely, and our defense will be strong, and our offense will be continuing to be very difficult for teams to stop us.
That's right. Nice. Man, I am dangerous.
And, of course, we got Merklinger coming in from Georgia, who will be the backup, I would assume. And, you know, it's hard to say. We might have another transfer or two come in, but I just feel real good about the future. And 2024 is the year I'm most looking forward to. But, look, you know, I didn't think we were going to win 11 games last year either. So you never know with Josh Heupel as your head coach.
The elite. Best of the best. We'll make it better.
All right, folks, I just wanted to cover that FPI and talk about what ESPN's thinking with 8.2 wins. That seems a little bit low, but, you know, they've typically have been pretty good on picking those numbers, but last year they certainly missed it by quite a bit. So, like I say, I'm gonna trust that Heupel knows what he's doing and can get this team really going this year. And if Joe Milton plays well, I think we're going to be very tough to beat. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the Vols and all those good things. If you're not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that little button. Costs you nothing. Helps me out. I would certainly appreciate it. And right over here is my most recent video. Be sure to check that out. And we will see you next time on Sports Dog J.